Hello. And you may be wondering why all this darkness. I wanted to do a video, about the end of the year and about the impending changes in our nation state. And I wanted this to be a gift to all of you. Don't read anything into this, and just listen and ponder with an unbounded wonder, and perhaps you will unlock this mystery. So this is The Raven, written by Edgar Allan Poe. Poetry was never meant to be read on the page. It was meant to be heard on the ear. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more." Distinctly, I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from the book surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me and filled me with fantastic terrors, never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door." Only this, and nothing more. Presently, my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, or "Madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wandering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before, but the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back, the word Lenore, merely this and nothing more. Back into my chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is someone at my window lattice. Let me see then what there it is, and the mystery I explore. Let my heart be still a moment, for this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here, I flung the shutter, then with many flirt and flutter, in stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but the mien of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, though thy crest be shorn or shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on this night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear such discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon a sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven sitting lonely on this placid bust spoke only that one word, and if his soul in that one word he did outpour, nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends had flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes had flown before. Then this crassly bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by this reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, said I, what it utters is only stock and store, caught by some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster caught from some followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirge of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of this nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore met croaking in this nevermore. This I sat engaging and guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, and my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press on nevermore. Then methought with the air grew denser, perfumed from some unseen censer, swung by seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by the angels he hath sent thee, respite, respite, and nepenthe for thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh, quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet undaunted on this desert land enchanted, on this home of horror haunted. Tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me now, I implore you. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by the heaven that bends above us, by the God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant Aden, who the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, never more. Be that word our song in parting, bird or friend I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie that thou hast spoken. Leave my loneliness broken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak out from my heart, and take thy form from my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flirting, still is sitting, still is sitting on the palace bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplights o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Thank you for listening.